name is Kaihua, and the topic of my talk today is on Rebase stablecoins. So I guess everyone knows what a stablecoin is. Please raise up your hand if you doesn't. Okay, cool. Stablecoin is a kind of cryptocurrency designed to maintain a stable value by being pegged to a reserve asset like the US dollar. So unlike the other cryptocurrencies, stablecoins aim to maintain a more consistent value such that making them a more reliable medium of exchange. So as of today, the total market cap of different stablecoins is about 150 billion US dollars. So DeFi users are using stablecoins for trading, leveraging positions, generating interest, and etc. So with no doubt, stablecoins are one of the most important components in the current DeFi ecosystem. So there are numerous of stablecoins. Let me show you the price performance of three of the most well-known stablecoins, USDC, USDT, and DAI, over the past year. As you can see from the diagram, they perform really well, right? So their price is tightly pegged to the US dollar. So this actually raises a question: if these stablecoins are performing so well, what do we still need to study about these stablecoins? To answer this question, let's look at the famous stablecoin trilemma. So this trilemma suggests that stablecoin designs typically meet two of the following three objectives: price or peg stability, decentralization, and capital efficiency. So USDC and USDT are the examples of the so-called centralized stablecoins. Their value is backed by some fiat reserves held in a company, and these centralized stablecoins provide great price stability and relatively good capital efficiency. But such a centralized design comes with a centralized risk. For example, the companies issuing USDC and USDT have the power to censor the accounts holding these stablecoins. And moreover, if the issuing company faces some sovereign issues, then the price stability will be significantly impacted. So as we have witnessed in the USDC DPEC event last year. On the other hand, DAI is more decentralized compared to USDC and USDT, and also provides good price stability. But the design of DAI comes with a trade-off of that the capital efficiency is kind of low because of its over-collateralization. That basically means to issue $1 worth of DAI, more than $1 of other asset should be collateralized to support its value. Okay. So now we have a third category of stablecoins called algorithmic stablecoins. So these algorithmic stablecoins aims to be both decentralized and capital efficient. But they come with a trade-off that their price stability is typically not as robust as the other cryptocurrency, as the other stablecoins, such as the over-collateralized and centralized counterparties. Okay, so there are many different designs of algorithmic stablecoins. So unfortunately, many of these algorithmic stablecoins designs have proven to be problematic. So you might know the infamous Luna Terra USD, which DPEC'd, causing billions of US dollars to vanish overnight. Okay, so this is not the only example that algorithmic stablecoin may fail because of this and that reason. But not every algorithmic stablecoin failed. We have a successful story called Frax, which maintains relatively good price stability over the past few years. But Frax was initially designed as a partially collateralized stablecoin, but recently they have shifted into a collateralization ratio of 100% to further improve their price stability. So that this shift basically highlights the trade-off inherent in the stablecoin design. So as the title of my talk suggests, today we will focus on the so-called Rebase stablecoin with Ampleforce as the most famous example. So what is Rebase stablecoin? The Rebase stablecoin basically is a decentralized design and with zero capital required. And this sounds too good to be true, right? And moreover, the price of Ampleforce is kind of stable. So if we examine the price of Ampleforce token, clearly it's not as stable as the USDC, USDT, or DAI, these like mainstream stable coins. But you might find it actually okayish, right? It kind of, fluctuate around the target price and tend to, return back to the target value. So, yeah, this is quite interesting because if we can better understand the rebase mechanism, then we can, improve the stability of this rebase stablecoin. Then we can design new stablecoin that is decentralized, capital efficient, and also stable. So in this way, we can kind of solve the stablecoin trilemma. So let's look into the details of the rebase mechanism. So the rebase mechanism allows for elastic supply in response to price fluctuations. In a high level, the design follows the law of supply and demand. It basically means when the supply increases and the demand doesn't, prices will go down. And when the supply decreases and the demand doesn't, then the price will go up. So following this high-level principle, in the rebase mechanism, we have a role called admin, and the admin will check the price of the rebase stablecoin periodically, let's say daily. And if the admin finds that the price is above the target price, the admin just increase the supply of the rebase stablecoin in order to reduce the price. And otherwise, if the price is below the target price, then the admin can just decrease the supply of this rebase stablecoin in order to increase the price. So the way that the admin changes the supply of this stablecoin is just to change the balance of every stablecoin holder proportionally. So to give a more concrete example, we have Alice who holds 100 ample and Bob who holds 200 ample. Now let's say if the price is above the target price and the admin triggers rebase, which like 1.1 times rebase increase. So after the rebase, the balance of Alice will become 110 ample, and the balance of Bob will become 220 ample. So it's also important to note that such a balance change does not only apply to these externally owned accounts, but also smart contracts. So imagine we have a Uniswap constant market maker smart contract, a constant product market maker smart contract, which holds 1 million ample and 1.1 million USDC. So you can easily calculate that the support price in this constant product market is 1.1 USDC per ample. Okay, now we have the rebase. The supply is multiplied by 1.1 times. Then the balance in this Uniswap market becomes 1.1 million ample and 1.1 million USDC. Okay, then immediately the price in this Uniswap market becomes 1 USDC per ample without any trading activities. So that basically means the rebase mechanism or the rebase event has an immediate effect on the stablecoin price, especially on the decentralized markets. So we have discussed how you can change the supply in order to kind of impact the price, but we haven't discussed how much we should change. So the Ampleforce token experimented two different schemas how you can change the balance of the how you can rebase. The first one is the linear schema, and the second is S-shaped curve or sigmoid function. So in the linear schema, the rebase factor can be calculated by the price deviation ratio divided by a constant parameter. Let's say R here. So more concretely, if we look at the diagram, so let's assume if the price deviation falls into the window from minus 5% to 5%, then no rebase is triggered. No supply change is implemented. But if the price deviation is beyond this window, the supply will be changed linearly. So with a more concrete example, if we assume that the price is 2, which is corresponding to a price deviation of 100%, and let's assume the constant parameter is 10, then the supply rebase factor can be calculated by 100% divided by 10, which is 10%. And you can easily see from the diagram. So that's a linear schema. And recently, Amperforce has moved to the S-shaped curve. And I have listed the equation as well as the curve. You can easily check. Okay, so the rebase mechanism is quite straightforward, right? So if the price go up, you just increase the supply. If the price goes down, then you just decrease the supply. So to further quantitatively understand the rebase mechanism, we collect the empirical data of Amperforce token from January 2020 to December 2023. And during this 4 years of time frame, we have observed in total 1,094 rebase events with 270 positive supply change and 540 negative supply change. For the remaining rebase event, the price basically falls into the window of. Basically, yeah, if you look at the price performance of Amperforce, yeah, again, it's not as stable as USDC and USDT for sure, but yeah, it's not that bad, right? Now we have the empirical data, and we kind of need a model to further reason about the rebase mechanism. So this is actually the challenging part of this study because to the best of my knowledge, the rebase mechanism doesn't exist in the traditional financial system. That implies that we cannot borrow many ideas from the existing literature. So the model we use in this work is rather intuitive. So we have the price of the rebase stablecoin PT at time t equals to the demand dt divided by the supply st. Okay, so for the supply of a rebase stablecoin is public and readable from a smart contract, and the dynamics can be easily modeled, right? So when there's no rebase, then basically the supply doesn't change. St equals st minus 1. And when there is a rebase, then st equals st minus 1 plus delta st. Okay, delta st is the supply change at every rebase. Okay, this is very simple and straightforward. It's also important to note that the way we model the price actually accords with the pricing in the constant product market, right? So as we have discussed, if you increase the supply by 1.1 times, then the price will be immediately divided by 1.1. So yeah, that basically means our model effectively captures the immediate price change in a constant product market. And yeah, it's also important to mention that the most liquid the market for Amperforce token is actually Uniswap version 2. All right, so the next question is how we can model demand. If we look at the model again, we have the supply ST, which only changes in a rebase event, right? So in the most of the time, ST doesn't change. But the price PT is changing constantly. That implies that the demand for this Amperforce token is also changing constantly that drives the price change. So intuitively, we can just model DT as a stochastic process. But this is not the only thing we need to consider, right? So we know that rebase has an immediate effect on the supply, but we are not sure whether rebase has any impact on people or traders' need for this rebase token. So here is our hypothesis. Let's just assume that rebase also has a delayed impact on the demand. This is how the model looks like. So we use autoregressive integrated moving average with exogenous variables. It's a super long name, but it's kind of a widely used tool in the time series analysis. So we have some autoregressive component, we have some integrated components, and some moving average components. And also, very importantly, we have this xt as exogenous variable that we use to model the impact introduced by the rebase event. And we use the logistic function to model this impact. That means after rebase, there's a gradual effect or impact on demand of this amperforce token. And for this logistic function, we have two parameters, k and t0, which basically determines the shape of this function. Okay, so we have the model, we have the empirical data. Now we can fit the model, right? But again, we don't know the value of the parameter for this logistic function, right? We don't know the value of k, and we don't know the value of t0. So this is how we fit our ARMX model. So we know the value of PT, we know the value of ST. We then can easily compute the value of DT from this two-time series. And then we do some stationarity test and also determine the order of autoregressive and the moving average component. These two steps are rather standard in any time series analysis. All right. So we also know the value of delta t in every rebase event. So we basically randomly pick some initial value for k and t0 to compute the value for st. Now we have xt and we have dt. Now with this two-time series, we can fit our ARMX model. Okay, so when fitting the model, we use a metric called ARC to measure how good or how well the model is fit. And then we run an optimization algorithm to iterate on different values of k and t0 to make sure that the model is best fit. Okay, so basically there are two stages, right? So on high level, we need to optimize on k and t0, and within the loop, we need to also fit the best ARMX model. So let me just omit all these details of this model fitting and jump to some key findings. So we find that the rebase event has a negative impact on the demand for rebase token. That basically means when a rebase increases the supply, it results in a decrease in the demand. And otherwise, if the supply decreases in a rebase event, then the demand increases. Okay, so our model also suggests that rebase can occur more frequently. Currently, rebasing amperforce is set to daily, but we find in our model that 99% of the total change in demand materialize within 3 hours after rebase. So that basically implies that we can kind of make the rebase more frequent to, for instance, 3 hours. Also, the third finding is the rebase amount can be adjusted more aggressively. So based on our model and historical data, the optimal supply change is calculated as 0.9 times the price deviation rate. That basically means if the price deviation is 100%, then you can kind of, set the rebase factor to 89%. Okay, a very quick future walk. So the current model and data is under the fact that amperforce is relatively small in volume. if you compare to USDC. So we don't know how it will perform when the volume is high and when Apple is more actively traded in different markets. And also the model suggestions and fitting is based on the past data, which may change. So we kind of look forward to more adaptive design of such kind of rebase mechanisms to fit different market scenarios. With that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks for the talk. We have time for a couple questions.
Knowing that it's somewhat predictable when you're going to rebase, is there an arbitrage attack?
So currently, I would say no, because it's mainly traded on the constant product market. And so when you rebase, let's say if you hold some Ampleforce, right? So when you rebase, the price of Ampleforce also change in Uniswap. So you can.
Demand has a delay.
So your balance changes in the same way as the price change. So by holding an Ampleforce token, you actually are holding a share of the Ampleforce market. So basically, no matter how the rebase is changing the supply, you will never make a profit out of it. But things might change.
We don't know when you're going to rebase.
We know it's triggered every day, like 2 p.m. By Oracle something. Yeah, you know in advance, but you don't have an arbitrage opportunity out of it. Huh? So the current result is calculated in a closed form in expectation. So I didn't do any simulation, but that's a very good suggestion.
I had a question. Why do they not want to do very small rebases? Why do they have that little period of, like, if it's a very small change, they don't rebase?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, let's thank our speaker and
thank you.